Hello and welcome to Cherries Red Army. If you're a Bournemouth fan checking out this video, you're probably in a good mood. We beat Leeds 4-1 recently and we're on 39 points, which pretty means we are safe and we're going to be in the Premier League next season. The 7th season out of 9. How bonkers is that? Now, this is a video I've wanted to do for a few weeks, get a panel of Bournemouth guests on the channel, have a few topics, have a good debate, get an opinion, have some fun, have a good conversation. And that's what this video is going to do. But if you're new around here, please do subscribe to Cherries Red Army. We've gone past 1.5k. We're on our way to 1.6. Also hit the like button to help this video grow. We like a minimum 50 likes. We can go past that, even better. And I do want to know what you're thinking and your opinions on the topics we discuss in this video. So do get those below in the comments. Right, let's head over to our guest panel and let's hear what they've got to say on this fan debate. True or false? So welcome to this fan debate. We're going to call it true or false. But firstly, we need to go around the Bournemouth panel. And we're also going to ask them what their favourite moment is this season. Could be a goal, could be a celebration, could be a player, could be a move, could be anything they want. Let's go to my left as I'm looking at it, which is Morgan Scott. How are you? What is your favourite moment this season so far?
Yeah, I'm very well, thanks, Kirk. Thanks for having me on. In terms of the weather, it's the South Coast is sunny, so that's always a good start. And the away game at Spurs, although I wasn't, it was fantastic to see that. Unlike other matches this season, we didn't sit back. We attacked and we got our result. We got 3 goals, and that equaled 3 points. So it was great, and that's given us a direction to staying in the league for the 7th season. So it's fantastic.
Yep, I reckon that'll be a popular choice, but we might have some other options. If I go to my right as I look at it, in Australia, I think it's 5 a.m. It's David Codron. How are you? What's your favourite moment so far this season?
Hi, Kirk. Hi, guys. Morgan, you've stolen mine, but that was the one away game we managed to make over for the season, and that moment that Dango put it in the bottom corner, absolute limbs in the away end. That was clearly my best moment of the season, and I think we've got the Southampton rain here in Melbourne this morning.
Yes, they might be playing championship football next season. Right, let's go down the bottom to Simon K. That's not his real Twitter handle, but he had a great day last Thursday. Simon, what's your favourite moment so far this season?
I'm going to pick another 3-2, but it was Forest away. So downtrodden and distraught at half time, thinking this is going to be a tough old season if we're going to get battered by Forest away so early. And then the turnaround, and then Jaden Anthony's winner. So that's mine, purely because of the roller coaster of the big low and then the big high.
And our final guest on this fan debate, he's put in some miles this year. He puts in miles every year. It's Mark Jackson. How are you? What's your favourite moment so far this season?
Okay. Well, it's hard to not say Forest, but I won't say not Forest. Sorry, Spurs. But I'll go different just to be interesting. I think for me, the Liverpool win was huge. I think that was the one. I felt like we were relegated before we played Liverpool at home, and then obviously that sort of started the run of of recent weeks. So I think holding on in that 1-0, keeping a clean sheet against a team who have such attacking threat, I think for me that was a big win. So whilst my answer's Spurs, I'll go with Liverpool.
Brilliant. And if you've got your favourite moment of the season, do put it in the comments below. So how is this going to work, true or false? So there's going to be 5 topics that we're going to debate. But when we do bring up a topic, we're going to go for a true or false. Now, there's going to be a red for true. It could be a table tennis bat. It could be a shirt. They've got a red. And then a black is going to be for false. Okay, so we're going to have a topic come onto the table. We're going to do a true or false, and then we're going to have a good debate about it, because there's been some really interesting conversations throughout the season about different things. I've chosen 5 today, and that's how we're going to roll. And of course, you can give us your opinions on this YouTube video. So who do I go to first? Well, I went to him first as the introduction. So Morgan Scott, there are numbers 1 to 5. You just have to pick one. That'll bring up our first topic. So let's have the first number, shall we?
Well, as I went for a 3-2 win away at Spurs, I'll go with number 3 to make that seem even better. So number 3, please.
Number 3. So number 3 is Marcus Tavernier has been our signing of the season. If you think it's true, it's red. If you think it's false, black. Ooh. So we've got 3 reds and 2 blacks. Now, Morgan, you chose the topic. Marcus Tavernier is a player that's only 24 years old. We signed him in pre-season. He was a great signing for about £10 million. He's had 23 games, 19 starts, 5 goals, 4 assists. He's got a goal conversion of 14%. He dribbles 50% of the time successfully. He's been a great player for us. And funny enough, when he's been out, we've struggled.
Yeah, actually alluded to Kirk. He's been sensational. There's no other word for it. I don't know if it's been confirmed if he's out for the rest of the season. It's looking probably likely that he will be now with 4. I would rather we're in this league for another season. That's not to sound naive, but we don't really. It would be great if we had him available for maybe appearance off the bench, but we don't need to rush him. We'll keep him fit for next season and he can start his rehab and stuff. But no, he's been sensational. Wolves away, great goal. Again at the weekend, last weekend, winning at Southampton as well. It's just incredible, and to have a player like him, he's been one of the standouts this season. And I think what's even better, some people still don't know his name. Is it Marcus Tavernier or is it Marcus Tavernier? So even that in itself is a bit of an excitement. And it's really great to see him. And he's done really well for Bournemouth. And next season, I reckon he'll kick on. Let's just hope his injuries, we've seen it with junior etc. Injuries can ruin a footballer's career. Let's hope for Marcus Tavernier's sake that doesn't happen. So, no, it's great to see him. But actually, you said the stats alone, his assist, his contribution with, was it 5 goals you mentioned? Incredible. Yep. So, really great. And I think he, next season with obviously David Brooks coming back and Solanke hopefully getting in a better form and maybe some new addition, I think we've got a very, very good chance of doing some great things at AFC Bournemouth.
Yeah, 9 goal contributions there, Mark. And you had false. Now, I know you like Marcus Tavernier, whatever you want to call it, but I'm thinking you might go for a January signing here if you're saying that he's not our signing of the season.
I'm not actually going for a January signing. I'm going for a summer signing. Don't get me wrong, Tavernier has been incredible. I think had he played the whole season, I think he would have been signing the season, but obviously we've missed him for quite a lot of games. But for me, I think it's Neto. I think what he's brought to the leadership of the team, how calm he is on the ball, the passion, the photos that we get after every goal is great. I just think Neto's probably been over the season more important to the team than Tavernier. And that's not to say that I think Tavernier's been a bad signing by any means, but I think for me, if I had to pick one of them, I'd go Neto over Tavernier this season.
Is that where you were leading as well there, David? Because I was thinking Dongu Tara, who's had some very, very good goal contributions and added value to this team.
Yeah, no, I was 100% with Mark. I think Tavernier was a very close second, but Neto's contribution over the course of the season, and just the nature of a goalkeeper. And, Travers had a great championship season, but his performances in the Premier League were a little bit shaky. And I'm just fearful that if Neto wasn't there for the majority of the season, maybe we wouldn't be exactly where we are right now. Saying that, if Tavernier hadn't been there for the games that he had been playing, then probably could say the same thing. But I'm just agreeing with Mark that Neto just pipped out Tavernier for signing of the season.
Simon, he was your signing of the season in this game. And I can remember it took a while to get going with regards to goals and assists. But once he did hit the ground running, he was fantastic for us leading into that break before the World Cup. He then got the injury. I think he got a goal at Wolves, I want to think. And then he obviously got a massive goal against Southampton, and he's a fan's favourite. And he's so versatile. He works hard. He does all the things you want from a player that you sign for £10 million.
Yeah, and I think you made the point a moment ago about what we were like without him, or certain moments in certain games without him. I completely agree with the Neto point as well, but as a player that gives impact to the side in terms of forward momentum, we were always more often than not going to let goals in. Neto has been very solid. We have had clean sheets. All the goals that we concede, of course, aren't on him when we do either. But where was the attacking intent going to come from? And I think when Marcus is able to play in the position that he's best at, which is counter-attacking, aggressive front foot play, then he is the signing of the season. I think Marcus's utility is going to be both his benefit, but potentially Achilles' heel, because he'll end up playing in different places for different reasons and different formations, and that might impact him in the future because he doesn't seem to have a solid single position. So, but for me, still him because we need goals.
Interesting conversations and some good shouts there from David and Mark for Neto. So do tell us what you think in the comments. Let's move on to topic 2 then. David, you've got numbers 1, 2, 4 or 5. What are you going to go for?
I'll go Lewis Cook, number 4.
Number 4. The 3 teams relegated after 38 games will be Southampton, Forest and Everton. Let's see, you're red or you're black. So we've got, just me that thinks that. And actually, I did have Leeds to go down, but I put my red up because Everton's running looks horrendous. Actually, David, a lot of teams' run-ins look horrendous apart from Leicester. It's going to be an interesting battle now to stay up in the Premier League. I'm just grateful we're going to be watching it from a little bit of a distance. And what's your thoughts then leading into these final games for those teams that are battling to stay in the league?
Yeah, I think you got 2 of the 3 correct there, Kirk. But yeah, I agree. I think Forest having Southampton at home will allow them to get 3 more points. And I think that will be enough for them to finish above Leeds, who will need another win. And I can't see them beating any of the 4 teams that they're playing in their run-in, being City, Newcastle, West Ham and Spurs on the final day. Although Spurs are pretty average at the moment.
Yeah, so the current table is Southampton are 20th on 24 points, Everton on 29, 19th, Forest at 18th on 30, Leeds 30, Leicester on 30 as well. Morgan, looking at Everton's run-in, they've got Brighton, Manchester City. So they've got Brighton away, Manchester City at home, Wolves away and Bournemouth at home. They are struggling to pick up points and they only got a draw against Leicester this week.
Yeah, 100%. I watched that last night. You could say either side were quite poor in that game. Defensively, we know what Leicester were like. We went away there and they looked beyond average, and that's not to sound disrespectful. It was just the truth, giving us basically a goal. I know we were miles better than them, and then Everton last night, although they look okay, defensively they look all over the place as well. Sean Dyche is a great manager. He's done some great things. I still don't think they're going to have enough. I think they are going to be one of the sides that will join Southampton. And I hate to say it, but Leeds fans don't hate me, but I reckon it will be Leeds as well, because they have just shipped so many goals. They conceded 4 to us, 6 or 5 to Liverpool, another 4 in another match. There's so many football, you can't keep up with it all, but and that's just relegation form, I'm afraid. And they controlled the game for the first 10 minutes, but with things that have been said on social media, with the fans, like the players wouldn't even acknowledge like some children waiting for them, and the in the stadium them saying sack all the board and sack. And I know all clubs go through the phase of it, but they seem in a very toxic place at the moment. So I do think they will be the side to join Southampton and Everton in the Championship next season. And I don't mean to sound disrespectful, but that's my opinion.
Yeah, now Southampton, I think they're gone. They've got Forest away, Fulham at home, Brighton away, Liverpool at home. Let's just go over Leeds as well. They've got Manchester City away, Newcastle at home, West Ham away, Spurs at home. Forest have got Southampton at home, Chelsea away, Arsenal at home, Palace away. And I'll wrap it up by saying Leicester, Simon, have got Fulham away, Liverpool at home, Newcastle away, West Ham at home. I can remember when Forest fans thought they were safe a few months ago when they got to 29 points and they've barely picked up anything since then. It's interesting. I think it is probably 3 from 4. I think Leicester will just creep away from it somehow. But there are 4 teams down there that I do see are going to struggle to pick up points.
I think Forest survive. I think it will be only the second time in God knows how many years that all the 3 promoted teams survive. So in a really kind of weird way, I'm looking for that to happen. And I do think Forest have shown that they've got enough. I think they're just nervous in latter stages of games. They've kind of got the yips, the kind of stuff that Bournemouth used to get a lot of the times. You know, if you got caught up like Brentford did, even if technically their second goal maybe shouldn't have counted for Brentford the other day, I just think they're showing enough to be able to not only beat Southampton, but probably get a point from Chelsea and even maybe get a point off Palace. So I think Forest could get to 35 points. Everton might end up drawing all their games and still go down, but Leeds are definitely going down. So I think Forest survive.
Yeah, I mean, Mark, I don't know if you know this. I don't. When was the last time all 3 promoted teams stay up? If anyone knows, actually, do throw it in. But Forest fans,
15,
I know that...
16?
Was it? Forest
know.
fans, I know that I listen to podcasts are really like not enjoying the Cooper now. I mean, he was a legend at the start of the season. They wanted to get a statue built, but now the whole low block that they're trying to put in front of football teams is not working out for them. What's your opinion on this battle now that we're not really involved in, and what teams you think will go down?
Yeah. Southampton are gone. I think I echo what everyone said about Leeds. I can't see them picking up any more points, and if this Allardyce stuff is true, I don't get it. Personally, I find it an odd appointment. I feel Grassi was an odd appointment anyway, but I think Allardyce would be even stranger. I might be proved wrong, but I doubt it. And then I personally think Forest are going to be the 3rd team joining them, not Everton. I think Everton proved last season how important the crowd can be when they're on their side. And I think their last 2 games, I think, are winnable. And if they could, obviously we're one of them, and I do think that'll be winnable because it doesn't mean anything to us. So I personally think Forest might just about go down, and I don't like them. I don't dislike them, but obviously the issues we had last year, it would be and what all the pundits were saying at the start of the season, that Fulham and Bournemouth are doomed to go down and Forest will be fine. I feel like there might be a slight irony in the fact that Forest might go and we might all stay up. So
I know there's a storm due this weekend apparently, so we need to keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, well, call the game off and bring it right to the end of the season. You know.
It is. It's interesting. I mean, I felt very confident. We might talk about this in a bit, but I felt very confident we'd stay up as the season evolved. I didn't think we'd be away with 4 games to go, but I think it is going to be interesting now to watch this develop with just kicking back with a beer maybe and just see how it all unravels, David.
Yeah, I agree. That final day of the season is going to be something to watch, I think, and definitely going to enjoy the fact that we're not part of it. Well, we'll be part of it, but we won't be at risk of going down. So it'll be a good final Sunday.
Well, I think it's 48 hours for. Sorry, Kirk. I think it's 48 hours for Bournemouth fans to enjoy. You got the Chris Smith fight at Vitality, which is incredible, and I'll just to throw that in, and then we can go and party up in Merseyside. So 48 hours of 2 different sports, all connected to AFC Bournemouth. What's more to enjoy? Maybe a few berries on the night out, and then get back down, and then it's Wimbledon and all into the tennis, which people's stupid. So but anyway.
My beach ball will be travelling. Whether I can get it inside Everton Stadium is another question, but it will be travelling with me. Right, let's move on to our next topic, shall we? Now, I know the topics, but I'm going to pick one as well, and I'm going to go for this one, which I think is an interesting topic for us to discuss. Jeff Lerma will be playing for Bournemouth next season. Do you think it's true or false? Red for true, false is black. Oh, we have a half and half. We need a half and half, don't we? I've said it all season that I don't think he will. But it's 3 reds and it's 2 blacks. So I need to go to a red first. Mark? come on, this might have changed in the last 3 or 4 days, I reckon. Jeff Lerma in a Bournemouth shirt next season, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, I feel like it's gone quiet, the Jeff talk. Obviously, the Zamora one was quite a big talking point when they were trying to negotiate a contract with him. But I think the Lerma one, I get the impression, and I have no source for this at all, but I get the impression if we stay up, he stays. And I think obviously now we've almost confirmed that. I think I get the impression he loves it at Bournemouth. He gets the love from the fans. He's now up to 5 goals this season, so he's obviously learning how to score. I mean, I can't have been the only one that didn't say don't shoot when it fell to him on the edge of the box, surely on Sunday. But I think my personal opinion is I think he was waiting for us to confirm safety before he signs a new deal. So I am hoping we hear something in the next couple of weeks. That would be better than, well, not better than survival, but it would just add the cherry on the top.
Yeah.
Pardon the pun.
It was a different strike on Saturday to the one he scored at Crystal Palace, which was quite a few years ago. But Simon, this is a guy that's 28 years old now. He's in his prime. If he was to move, it's probably his last big move. I don't know where that potentially is. 180 appearances for Bournemouth, 12 goals, 8 assists, 52 yellow cards, although he's reined them in a lot. This is a guy that is in the hearts. I think he'll go down as one of those real high top legends that we have in our heads and in our minds. And Jeff Lerma, did you say he's going to be in a Bournemouth shirt next season? I can't remember what you put up.
I did say yes now, but I remember after the Brentford away game during the transfer window, I thought he was gone, and it just felt that he was going to go. But maybe that was the time when he was getting his ducks in a row, to coin a phrase, of what the options might be. And one of those options would be to stay. And I think I've seen enough and heard enough rumours on the street, so to speak, not that every rumour you hear on the street is always true, that certainly one more year, Jefferson Lerma might be on the cards.
That would be nice. Morgan, it does feel like Jefferson Lerma's returned a little bit. He's always been a great player for us. I think he's had spells where he's dipped, and I definitely didn't think he was at his greatest in certain spells in the first part of the season. But he's been fantastic. And I'm just wondering if it's coincided with Joe Rothwell getting fit and coming into this team, because they found a really nice partnership inside that central midfield.
Yeah, 100%. Firstly, the first thing to say about Jeff Lerma, what a fantastic guy he is off the pitch. I had the opportunity, I'm sure a lot of people have, but I had the opportunity to meet him about 5 minutes away from where I live. He was out on a night out, and it was after he got sent off at Blackburn, if you remember, Kirk. And we had a conversation, and he was happy to take a selfie, and, obviously not gone for too long because he was having a meal with his family, but he gave, have a nice Christmas, and he had a conversation. About 6 weeks later, I went to Vitality to do something, and I think it was to return an away ticket that I couldn't make, unfortunately. And he pulled out in front of me, and it was around the time that he didn't go away with Colombia. I don't know if that was mind games or whatever, but and he went, "Hi mate, how are you?" And I thought, he remembers who I am. And that's just like remarkable. Like, a player wanted to make the effort to make some time, and he just sat there and spoke to me in his car for half an hour. With COVID and stuff, it was also socially distant. But I was just thinking, this is really incredible. Like, a footballer taking half an hour. And, we know that we have Mark Pugh and Nathan Ake, nice guy. But it was just really nice to see. So that's the first guy about Jefferson Lerma off the pitch. On the pitch, he's sensational. He came to us and he had a bit of a temper, and he was shithousery. And, there's nothing wrong with that in terms of a player. But he did overstep the line at times and get silly yellow cards and got himself into trouble and getting himself sent off, missing crucial games, and you don't want that in your squad all the time. It's not good for momentum, and it's not good for the team mindset. However, he's worked on that, and he's worked really hard, and he seemed hardly ever to pick up a yellow. He hasn't got sent off in, I can't remember, so that's obviously a great thing. And to make it even better, I just seen on his social media on Instagram, he put a photo of that Wonderground that he put in top bin on it from the weekend against Leeds on Sunday. So that, to me, is all good signs of him. Maybe, we don't know for sure. This is only a speculation. I'm not any definitely signing this contract, so I don't want people to jump on my case and say, "Oh, you said he was going to," and I haven't got any inside information. But it's obviously the fact that he's posting that on his story with 4 games to go in my opinion, that's a great start to saying he might be. And I reckon Neil Blake and Richard Hughes and Gary O'Neill every day will be saying, Jeff, what can we do to have you for another year? And then if he decides to move, then that's fine. I'm happy to wish him all the best now, but I think he's crucial to keeping us for again next season. I would like him to sign another 5-year deal. He's not going to do that, being realistic, but another year or 2-year deal, I think that's a very good chance he might do it. And I know that he enjoys it down here. So yeah, it's all good stuff for Jeff Lerma.
Yeah, David, I'm sure people are in his ears, even the players. I think Adam Smith came out the other day and says, I'm asking him every day to sign a new contract. And Jeff Lerma is one of those professionals. Maybe I'll compare him to someone like Andrew Sermon. Goes about his job. You never hear too many bad things about him off the pitch. You just don't. He just goes about his work on the pitch. He's such a likable guy. He's a great player for us. An ultimate professional in his prime. I tell you what, if we can get him on another contract going into another pre-season, looking for more transfers, it'll be a very good start.
Yeah, definitely. I did put up the black polo, and I'll start with a qualifier that I have absolutely no idea what he's going to do, obviously. And this is just mentally preparing myself for the worst and hoping for the best. So, yeah, absolutely would love him to sign another contract. I think the one thing that hasn't been mentioned, which isn't influenced by football, is obviously family. And I feel that his desire to move to Spain is significantly motivated by family desire, family wishes. And maybe we can convince him for another year or two before he jet sets to the sunny Spain. But we'll just have to wait and see. And either way, whether he stays or whether he goes, he'll go down as a Bournemouth legend. And if he goes, we'll send him off with our best wishes. Well, at least I will anyway.
Yeah, he'll definitely be sent off with his best wishes. You never know. Something might happen with Jeff Lerma. But do let us know in the comments if you think Jeff Lerma will be in a Bournemouth shirt next season. Hopefully. Right, we've got 2 topics left, guys, to debate. We've got Simon and Mark for a pick. Let's go to Simon, and Mark can have the final pick. So, Simon, you've got option 1 or 2?
1.
1. Interesting. Number 1. Right, ready for it. Gary O'Neill will be our head coach for the 2023-2024 season. So we got 4 reds and a half from Simon. It would be fair, and I would not be surprised, absolutely would understand if everything is completely red in this room. Even my bat is red. Right, Simon, we'll come to you in a moment, but let's put some context behind this, shall we? So Gary O'Neill obviously took up the reins as interim. Let's go through his review of the season so far. So as interim, he had 13 points in that spell, 11 Premier League games. I'm only going to talk about the league games. 3 wins, 4 draws, 4 losses. So that's 13 points out of a possible 33. Scored 14, conceded 16. Now, he was given the job as a head coach. I think it's very fair to say that it's fair to say that you could be surprised that he was given this job as his first head coach role in the Premier League, the hardest league in the world. But his first 10 games as head coach, Simon, he had 5 points out of a possible 30, 1 win, 2 draws, 7 losses, scored 6, and we conceded 19. In the last 9 games since then, we've picked up 18 points out of a possible 27, 6 wins, don't do draws anymore, 3 losses, scored 12, and conceded 13. Now, when you break it down, and we know there's lots of conversations going on everywhere, even your pro O'Neill supporters would probably understand that after 10 games, questions need to be asked, and maybe it was time for us to switch it up, or even maybe switch it up at the end of the season. Even your pro O'Neill fans were saying that on occasions, but you can't argue against the fact that he's picked up very, very well in April. He's got a high chance of being manager of the month. And I completely understand him getting this job with a new preseason, with another transfer window, and at least a good section of the start of next season.
That sounds like I should just say yes. And I think ultimately, yes, he should be given the job when you break it down. However, there have been a multitude of moments within matches and scenarios and situations where I do still question his tactical nous at the top level. I do still have some reservations about learning on the job, even though I fully respect what he's done and I back him 100%. I did expect him to do a good job and I believe in him as a coach, but I always wanted him to have more support around him in terms of a bit of experience, different ears to speak to, moments in games. Should I do this? Should I do the other? I also think there's something to be said for the amount of change that's happened at many of the other clubs that have ended up down the bottom and how much money they've spent and how the mechanics and, you know, how those teams are structured has had a bearing on how well we've ended up doing. But Foley made the right choice, even if it was rumoured that he went against Neil Blake or whatever. So he's not going to change his man now, I doubt, at this point. But that's why I was kind of iffy, is because I've always been Gary O'Neill in, but a little bit more flesh on the bone.
Yeah, Mark, I was thinking about this the other day, and I was thinking that how many managers or players in football unite a fan base? I mean, we can probably all sit here and say Eddie did that, but not really. How many managers actually do that? So you're always going to get a diverse opinion. Even if we had appointed Bielsa, you would have had half the fan base go, I like it, I don't like it. So that's just normal. And at the end of the day, there'll be some fans that had an opinion that he couldn't keep us up. And there will be some fans that had an opinion based on the long term of the appointment. And I know I was in that. I didn't ever think, I doubted that Gary O'Neill couldn't keep this team up. As it evolved, as the league showed how poor it was at times and clubs declined. For me, I'm just looking at, can we get someone in for 3, 4, 5 years who can show an identity that we can really even know before he's even through the door? And can we sort of embed that in this new ownership? And that's my opinion. I think there's still a lot to see, and I think the first 3 or 4 months of next season will tell an awful lot.
Yeah, I agree. I think we were obviously blessed with Eddie and for how long he stayed with us and all that stuff. And I think we forget what it's like to be a normal football club with changeovers of managers as regularly as we've had sort of over the last 3 years or so. I personally think he deserves a go next season. I've very much been in the O'Neill out camp at some point early on in the season, as most people probably were. But fair play to him. I think one thing that you could never question was, were the players playing for him? They always were playing for him. They rarely threw the towel in. Yes, we've had some bad results over the season, but I don't think that was down to the players not believing. And you see with like Leeds at the weekend, there's just, as Morgan said earlier, there's like a toxicity there that just has never been there in the team from my view anyway in the stands. So I think he deserves it. I think the players would be, I think they'd probably be a bit upset if he didn't get offered it for next season, or if he wasn't there at the start of next season. So, but as you say, I think we'll see where we are at Christmas and see what he learns over the summer. Obviously what backing he gets as well. Do they get the right players in that suit Gary O'Neill, or do they just get players that they want in? What say does he have in that as well? And that obviously doesn't really fall on him somewhat. But I think when you get to October, November time next year, we may be having this conversation again and saying, should Gary O'Neill still be at Bournemouth, or was it the right decision to let him go? Who knows? I certainly think he will be there. As the question says, not do I want him to be there next year? Will he be there next year? And I definitely think he will be.
Absolutely. That's the question on this fan debate. And David, you can only call what you see, no matter where you're following the Cherries, no matter how many miles you're putting in, the tickets you're potentially buying if you're able to follow the team. I mean, let's be absolutely real here. If you're picking up 5 points from a possible 30 and you don't score for 4 games, any manager in this game is under pressure. And that is a fair comment to make when you're having an opinion in the game, and it's as fair as when you turn it around and you pick up 15 points, like I said, 18 from 27 in April, and you see that how it is. Look, you can break games down, David, to like the finer details. You can look at Southampton and think you're a toenail away from dropping 2 points. You can look at some other games where Fulham didn't have Mitrovic and Willian. You can do that throughout the whole season. You call what you see as your fan. You try and keep it honest. You don't take it across the line. And at the end of the day, Gary O'Neill is going to get this chance, I think, to have a pre-season and the start of next season. And I just want to see an identity through that spell and a team that I can relate to. And if he ends up being a fantastic head coach, consistently delivering good performances, not necessarily winning, I'll be really happy.
Yes, I think Gary was quite lucky that we had just gone through a changeover a few months before. If he went through that spell this time next season, then I think he probably would potentially lose his job. But the fact that we had just sacked Scott Parker and there didn't seem to be a lot of options that were being considered as alternatives for Gary O'Neill, I think led to him being given that more time to turn it around, and ultimately that opportunity that he had to turn it around came to fruition, and the rest is history, as they say.
It is history. Morgan, we've seen a few variations of formation tactics from Gary O'Neill. I very much do like what I've seen lately in sections of games. I like the first 75 against Southampton. I've liked some second halves at home. And if we can build on that, I don't think we're very quick out the blocks. Our forte is not quick starts. But if we can develop on the good stuff we're doing right now and turn in some 19-minute performances next season, will be a very good football team with maybe some additions.
Yeah, 100%. I think there are a few things to answer here. I think the first thing is I do sometimes wonder what O'Neill's identity is, of the way that we can have a really awful first half, one performance or two come to mind, maybe Fulham at home, for example. For the first 45 minutes, I'm thinking, the second half makes a change, gets a reward. And Gary O'Neill is now learning, rather than, he ain't bringing on the defender, he's not bringing on Stephen or Mepham, no disrespect. He's bringing, I keep saying Saturday, it was Sunday. On Sunday, he brought Kiefer Moore went off. I think it was with concussion. I don't know anything officially, but with concussion, and rather than going defensive or anything, he brought on Semenyo, and Semenyo killed the game off even more. That could have been a really crucial part. If it hadn't been for Neto, we might have needed to score that goal to win the game. So these are all factors. In asking questions, yes, I think I've always backed Gary O'Neill. I'm not saying I have disagreed with some of the comments made about, is this the right time with the transition of the football club? I think it's been, personally, I always looked at the bigger picture. I was starting to wonder, well, if they got rid of him 8 or 9 games ago, then who would it have been? Could we have been in a Southampton situation? Could we be in a Leeds situation? Could we be even in an Everton situation? Because although Sean Dyche, Sam Allardyce is a great manager, stuff, it takes time for managers to build a squad and to work, and it all takes a change in a football club. It was always going to be difficult after, others have said, after Eddie Howe. We knew what a job this was going to be. Eddie was our messiah, and but Gary O'Neill done himself. He hasn't done himself any. He's put himself right forward, and he will get that. He deserves that another year on his contract. He's now kept us in the Premiership. We're mathematically not going down. And wasn't it nice to see AFC Bournemouth admin today put on, this will be the walk for the 7th season, and we sit 13th in the Premiership table. So no, it's all good things. And just to say fair play, as Simon was saying, O'Neill, I do think, and this isn't to be criticism, it's just to try and improve, because I'm always looking at the bigger picture. I think next season O'Neill could do with some more experienced coaching staff. I know he's got Tim Jenkins, but he's not in my opinion, I haven't heard that name before, and I don't know, maybe he's doing, it sounds a bit like, considering they kept us up, but I do think he needs a little bit more help, and I do think with some more addition with squad depth, I think we will be absolutely fine. I'm not jumping the gun. I'm not saying next season going to be easy, because this league isn't easy, and we might find ourselves in a similar situation, but what I will say, if we're sat here at the end of beginning of May next year, and we are relying on the full game to keep us up, rather than this year where we're on the beach, I think I will be a lot more confident next time around than this time around.
Yeah, it's been the most amazing Premier League season, unique and forgiving. And I think next season will be hard again, but we can grow. Just interesting vote here. This is not a topic vote, but I want to add it in. And is it fair to me to say that before a ball was kicked, we were just hoping that we could finish 17th? Would we all agree? Red, would we all agree? I mean, vote what you think. But at the start of the season, would you say you were hoping we could finish 17th? Or stay up? Yeah, are we all on the same? So okay, so Morgan was very confident. For those that voted red, because Morgan did feel we could stay up, as the January transfer window happened and you saw the league and the clubs sort of decline, did you feel after January we should be definitely staying up? And we are maybe just above where I think we are now, but did you think we should definitely be staying up after the January transfer window? Again, red. Oh, it's interesting. It's going to cause another video if I talk about it. But that is really interesting to see there. So some reds, some blacks. Cool. That's interesting. Right. Last topic, real topic, is to you, Mark. It's only the number 2, but please say it for me.
Number 2. Can I guess what it is?
Go on.
Will we get a penalty this season or next season?
Oh, it isn't actually, but I wish it was. But nice. Will we get a penalty? We've got 4 games left. Probably not. No.
No, we will. We will. It will be in the 95th minute at Goodison, and it will send them down. Like
that'd be amazing. But the topic 2
that was the last time when we got relegated. That was when we went down, and we won't talk about the camera failing at Villa Park, will we? But maybe now I reckon the 95th minute it will be seen, and that will send them down to the Championship. It'd be beautiful.
Amazing. But our last topic is Dom Solanke is a number 9 striker. See, this is where you need a half and half. This is where Simon is again. He's on the fence, a bit like me, and I've had my opinion. So we've got a false from Morgan. Were you false, David?
I was both.
Mark's red.
I was both.
I'm on the fence. I have been on the fence about Dom Solanke for a few years, but it's Mark's question. Mark, I think you came on a preview a few weeks ago and we had a discussion about Dom Solanke. He's taken some goals recently really, really well because I've always thought his composure in the finer moments. We know he does loads and loads of work. And recently I've been questioning whether he needs to do all that work. Is he a number 9 striker though?
I think the definition of a number 9 striker has changed over the years. I think not contribute to much of the game, but then just pop up with 2 goals. I think the role of a striker now, and I suppose I might be talking myself out of this now because a number 9 striker, his job is to stay up front and whatnot. But do I think we need another striker up there with him? I don't necessarily think we do. I think the goals that Billing, Tavernier, your other players that are contributing only come about because of Dom's work. And I think if you play someone up there with him, you're almost losing something because you're losing someone else in one of those positions. So I think whilst he might not get you the goals, your 15 goals a season, again, how many teams in the bottom half do have a striker that gets 15 goals a season? But I personally think, I suppose I took this question as, would you play another striker up there with him? And my answer to that is no. Is he a number 9 striker? Probably not. But yeah, I think he's so crucial to the team. And I think the way that we play with the wide players and Billing in behind, I personally don't think there's space for another striker to play alongside him.
David, what he's done over the last 2 seasons in the Championship, and he's definitely grown, is he gave himself a bit of time with regards to his performances and stats this season, not necessarily performances because he's always worked hard, but more his stats. At one point, he was on a run rate of 1 goal every 7 games. And when you're a side that needs to try and stay up, you're obviously going to need goals. You need goals in any football team, obviously. He's currently scored 6 this season out of 29 games, 7 assists, tells you what else he's doing for the team. And Dom Solanke is someone that needs to, we need to think about it in the summer because I do love Dom Solanke. I do want him in this team, but I do think I want to squeeze a few more goals out of him next season.
Yes, agreed. I think we'll see next season whether he can kick on from that goal tally. But as you said, his assist contribution is just as important as his goal scoring. And I agree with Mark. Ultimately, if we were to try and utilize what he brings to the team and also try and bring in a proven goal scorer, then you're losing out on another player probably billing in that side, and whether that chemistry would work for our team would remain to be seen. And I'm happy to go with what we know next season, which is billing Tavernier, Solanke as the number 9, and hopefully he uses the experience that he's had this season and builds on that and can try and increase his goal tally to double figures.
Simon, I do think that Dom overdoes it sometimes, and I think that's because he's working so hard. He's desperate to do well for the team, and we saw it at Southampton. He's just overrunning it slightly, too many touches, then he's snatching at chances. I just said a moment ago he took some really good goals recently, though. One at the weekend against Leeds. He took another one really well at Tottenham. I want him to be a little bit more obsessed with the box as much as he's obsessed with trying to link up, trying to defend from the front. Just want him to do a little bit more obsession with the box, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the guys already have made some very valid points, and I think there's 2 key points, and they're basically wrapped up in benchmarking of what are you benchmarking your standard at, and what's the objective of the team. Now, if you're benchmarking against, as Mark inferred rightly, against other teams in the bottom 5 or 6 of the division, Dom Solanke is a number 9, and he does an incredibly good job. If your objective is to go further up the league and to compete against teams that play different ways, then you could argue that he's not a good enough number 9 for what we need to go further up the league, which is why I was 50-50. Dom Solanke for us and where we are and who we're competing with at the moment is a number 9, and he does the job incredibly well for our team and what our objective is for now. The question has to be, going forward, what's Bill Foley's objective? If it's top half, I can see the need for a number 9.
So that means that Dom Solanke's not a number 9, in your opinion. But it is a really
he is for the benchmarking of the bottom 6, if I'll call it that. And is he effective for that objective as a number 9? Totally. He's brilliant. Yeah. Love him. But is he what we need to kick on to another level? Maybe not.
Yeah. Mark, you made that point as well previously in that preview. I can remember you said when you look at the bottom half, who actually really has a striker that's knocking goals away. And I actually didn't view it like that. And I was like, fair enough. But, you do want Dom Solanke to kick on and become this obsessive striker. And maybe it's unfair of me, Mark, to compare him to like Callum Wilson, who I think is obsessed with the box. And he still tries to do that link up and he still works hard for the team. I know he does it at Newcastle now, but he's so ruthless in the box and his movement's fantastic. And he's in a better team now where they're creating really good chances for him, obviously. But yeah, can you think Dom can kick on again? I'll come to you in a moment, Morgan. But Mark, do you think he can kick on again next season?
I think he can. I mean, yeah, he seems to do well when we get into like April, May time. Because I remember the relegation season, he popped up with his first few goals. I remember against Leicester. But I mean, he scored 29 goals in the Championship, and a number 9. If you're not a number 9, you don't score 29 goals, regardless of what.
That's a Championship level number 9, though.
No, I agree. I do see what you're saying, but I think he does have the ability to push on, and I think if he's coached correctly, I think he could potentially become more obsessed with the box, as you say. What that loses for the team, I'm not sure, because again, the link-up play that he does when he drops in. I mean, Harry Kane. And again, I'm comparing him with the elite level here, but Harry Kane's got the ability to do both. He's able to drop off, he's able to link up that play, but he does have the ability to get in the box and finish those chances. And I think that's sort of where we'd like to see Dom get towards. Obviously not to that level, no chance, but I think he could push on next season, especially if we get, more players in that help him. What lacked is that creative player in the middle, so Dom has to take that role on. And if we're able to get that creative player in midfield, maybe he can become more of a number 9.
Yeah, loving the conversation. And Morgan, Dom Solanke, I can remember saying 3 years ago, this guy won't score 20 goals because he's not ruthless enough. He's not selfish enough. And I think in those championship seasons, he definitely changed. You can see he worked hard in pre-season. He was now finding angles. He was trying to shoot for inside of the post rather than just hitting hoping. I said that a lot. I remember a lot of shots just going down the neck of the goalkeeper. And then going into this season again, I have seen him at times, in my opinion, with my own eyes, snatching at chances. But then he takes that goal at Tottenham. He takes the goal really well against Leeds. And there is a player in there. Maybe it's confidence. He's playing in a team that's winning a lot of football matches. And maybe it's just a confidence thing with Dom Solanke.
Yeah, if you put the ball in the back of the net, you're going to be confident. It's going to give you a good mentality to go on and, for your psychological health and your physical health, and you're going to go on and kick on. But as you alluded to, sometimes I do feel with Dom, I agree with what the guys have said. I think he works at 90% of the time for the team, even 100 at most of the game. I think he's excellent in that way. I think he gives you a lot. I do think some of the chances wouldn't be scored if it wasn't without him. However, sometimes I do feel with some of his little flicks and stuff, there's a time, just bury it in the bottom right-hand corner if you have to. Don't try and be too cute at trying to get a clever little connection and trying to put it in the back of the net. Just finish it. Again, looking at the bigger picture for next season, I would like him to have a bit more competition. That's no disrespect to Kiefer Moore and Artur Semenyo, but again, they're not in competition with Solanke, really. I think it'd be nice if Solanke had a bit of competition. Dom, if you're not playing well at half time, I know it sounds harsh, you're coming off. Or if you haven't, 70 minutes in, changed the game, or Dom, you haven't been performing this week, I'm going to drop you. And that's not to be horrible. It's just what you need in a football club. You look at what Eddie, I don't want to mention it too much because this is a Bournemouth channel, but you look at what Eddie Howe's doing with people like Jacob Murphy, Almiron, Joe Linton. They look completely different players. Mm-hmm. So, and they're scoring every other week. So, most weeks. So I think if we can get either a little bit more work done with Dom in terms of finishing and making the final pass or whatever, or get another striker in, that's a healthy competition. We've got Neto with Travers, as they alluded to earlier. That's fantastic. 2 good goalkeepers there. Obviously, Neto brings experience. You've got Travers that will be a good goalkeeper one day, I'm sure. And he has proven it against the wonder man of the match at Spurs. So, but back to Solanke, I think he works hard, but I don't think he's going to get 30, 40 goals a season at this level, unfortunately. And that's just how it is. But I think next season, if they could bring in a striker for a bit of healthy competition, I think that wouldn't go amiss.
Be interesting stuff to watch in pre-season. Morgan, I don't think he'll get Haaland numbers. That would be nice, though, wouldn't it? It would be nice.
55, 60, it's at this world.
Amazing. A bow and arrow would get, I don't know, be tied out for all those bow and arrows, wouldn't they?
Very good.
Right. It's been an interesting debate on this fan debate. What I do want to finish up with, please do subscribe. Please do hit the like button. Get your comments below on everything we've talked about in this video. Guys, to finish off, we're on 39 points. 4 games to go. We've got Chelsea at home, Palace away, Man United at home, and Everton away as we're recording this. David, how many points can we get to? I think our record, 46? When we finished 9th, 2016-17, was it?
Yeah, that's right.
So, thinking about yours, I'm coming to David first. How many points do you think we can get on a possible 12 extra points? We're currently on 39.
It all depends on the mentality of the players, whether they're at the beach or whether they take on these remaining 4 games like they have the previous 6 or 7. I'll go with 7. We'll equal the 46 record.
Ooh. That's high. I mean, I thought we had a really good chance, Mark, of getting to 39-40 by the end. So we are right where I thought we could get to. Where do you think we can get to in your mind?
I think 6 is possibly realistic for me, whether that's 2 wins or a win and 3 draws, because I don't think any of those games are unwinnable for us. No. United at home is obviously probably the most challenging, and Everton away is not going to be easy if they need to win to stay up. But I think we can sneak 2 more wins. And we've got the benefit that we're at the beach already. So being on the beach is like being at home anyway for them. So maybe we want them to be there. I don't know. But yeah, 6 more points. But it would be lovely to break that 46-point barrier, because then would that make Gary O'Neill a better manager than Eddie Howe?
Don't start, otherwise we'll have to come back for another video. Simon, it's party time at Dean Court on Saturday. Chelsea haven't won in 6 games. Frank Lampard can't even buy a win. How many points do Bournemouth get to?
I think we get to 44. I think we beat Chelsea, we draw away at Palace, we lose to United, and then obviously with Morgan, what he said earlier about the last minute penalty to send Everton down, that's a point for us, and they're gone, right?
Yeah, maybe they're gone. They've got some tough run in Everton. I did say that earlier. Morgan, how many points do Bournemouth get on this season at the end?
Well, you know me, Mr. Positive. I reckon Gary O'Neill's going to do it. Everyone's been, the amount of abuse he's had, go and prove everyone wrong, and that's not to be rub it in or disrespectful to Eddie Howe. We all appreciate what he's done for our football club, but I really believe that there's nothing else. O'Neill, we have got Gary O'Neill now, so people either need to accept it or don't accept it, but they're going to have to because that's who we got for now, and that's their opinion. But O'Neill's got nothing. He's not going to want to end this season. He's not going to say, "Oh, you just go and enjoy your trip to Las Vegas with Bill Guy." Do you know what I mean? Like, I believe that we can win any football club if beat any football club. Sorry, if we believe, and that is anything together is possible, and that isn't just a memo. It's a fact of Bournemouth Football Club for the last 10 or that's what Eddie Howe put in, and I don't know if it's still the same, but it doesn't seem to have changed. And why can't we go and beat Chelsea? Look awful. Palace, I can see us beating them if we're up for it. United, they'll be on the beach, so don't worry about them. And then go and win in the 95th minute at Everton, it'd be fine. Because you got to believe, and if I have, and people are going to probably think, oh, he's taking the out of Mickey. No, I'm not, because you've seen something for the first 10 minutes at Leeds. I'm thinking, is this going back to 2 steps forward, 1 step back again after the West Ham? No, it wasn't. We controlled it for 20 minutes, let them do what they wanted to do, and then we just went and scored 4-1. Yeah, when Patrick Bamford went in, I was thinking, but no, and we controlled it and we won it very comfortably. No, we'll get 12 points from the next 4 matches, and if that happens, maybe Bill might give me a trip to Las Vegas as well. But we'll go with that.
That'd be nice.
You're
making me dream of Europe, Morgan, with these performances and points.
Wow, if Eddie Howe can do it, Gary O'Neill can do it.
It is all about mentality, as David said, from here on in. I hope we don't fall flat now. We think it's all over and we've done enough. We need to keep rolling. We need to keep performing. Don't take our foot off the gas. Let's see how many points we can get to. As I said, I thought we'd get to about 39, 40. There's no reason why we can't go to 42, 43, 44 and all the numbers you've mentioned. So it'll be interesting to see. Morgan, it's been great to have you on this fan debate. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'll see you at Dortmund away.
Looking forward to it. David, it's been an early start for you in Australia. Thank you very much. You've had a great contribution. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Kirk. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Mark, also great to see you on Saturday and all the away games I've seen you on. A couple more left. Thank you for coming on this stream.
Cheers, Kirk. Thanks, guys.
Simon, thank you for your input. See you on the golf course soon.
Lovely. Up the winners.
Up the cherries. Thank you for checking out this video. Do subscribe if you're new around here. Hit the like button and get those thoughts in the comments on all the topics we've discussed. We're a football fan. We should all have an opinion because we all want Bournemouth to do really well. We'll see you on the next one. Up the cherries.
Come, let's get back to
Up the cherries.